Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
All right, welcome to JK's Deal Reveal every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Glad to have you here. Who do we have on today? Francois, nice to have you here. Jackie, Julio, hey. Paul, nice to see you here. Roberto, sorry, that came out all weird. Either Mr. or Mrs. Smith, not sure. Vera, hey, glad you were able to join on. And Vincent, and of course, all the extended Facebook family and those who are lower down the list that that's just scrolling through here. Welcome back and welcome to those who are here for the first time ever. We are very excited to showcase another deal from the community. And this one is going to be maybe even more exciting than usual for a couple of reasons. Reason number one is that this is an opportunity that if you are interested in, reach out to us. And we will connect you with Vera to see if you can make something happen. Vera has her own podcast. Vera is a community member, one of the very first community members of the Now for Tomorrow community, of the JK community, and she is still at it today. Congratulations! So we're excited to showcase one that you have on the cooker, one that crossed your desk. And if anybody is actually interested, well, just reach out, see if we can make something happen for you. This is a property for $2 million, $2,004,000 specifically, and 312 extra dollars on top. Well, we're going to see what kind of property we can buy for that amount in the next couple of minutes. So that's number one reason to get excited. Number two reason to get excited is that tomorrow is going to be day one of the 3-day blueprint, the very first time that we do a 3-day blueprint, and it's starting tomorrow morning. So for all those reasons, stay until the end of this deal reveal. You're going to see how you can jump into these opportunities. So we're excited for very, very many reasons today. But ultimately, it's because I want to show you, JK wants to show you that real estate isn't rocket science. We can take a look at a deal and very quickly get a great idea of what's happening. So we're analyzing deals quickly, and we are seeing that cash flow is often very much more likely, possible, and exciting in the US compared to most of our Canadian markets. So we're investing where it makes sense. And as I said, today's deal reveal is submitted by Vera, and we hope that yours will be next up on next week's deal reveal. You just need to send your address and send as little or as much information as you want. And I'm going to do exactly this, show you how to take the next step. So this is interactive. Your job is to say, is this a deal or no deal in the next 5 minutes? So off we go. Load them up, start the timer, off we go. So very first thing we do, we have the property's address. We can, for example, go to Trulia or Zillow or Redfin, one of the big sites, just to get a sense of what's happening here. So we have the property. We confirm we're clicking on the right one here. And here's a property. So it's a property in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Okay, and here we have a multifamily complex, right? We have a whole bunch of units here on 5 acres total. Here, it seems they're advertising 2.5 million, but my understanding of the deal is that it's currently at $2.004 million. So what type of property are we looking at here? It used to be known as the Boom Motor Lodge. And so we got 6 apartments, a 21 motel room. So we basically, and 1 cabin. So a total of 28 units here. And again, to my best understanding of what's happening here is that they were converted, or basically they're rented month to month. So it's kind of the mix between like a weekly hotel and apartments. So they're rented by the month. So it's kind of right in between there. And with these type of assets, often we can push more towards one, push more towards the other, depending on what the owner wants and the type of management and management skills that are involved. So the more you push to weeklies and daily rentals, the more it's like a motel, hotel, short-term rental, and that brings with it what it brings. And then on the other side, we push more to the month to month or the year-long leases, and then it becomes more your traditional long-term rental. In both case, in both cases, the income of this asset is based, sorry, the value of this asset is based on the income it generates. This is 5+ units. So to buy it, to refinance it, and the value in general on the marketplace is based on the income it generates. So let's get a sense of what type of income it generates. Yeah, there's a little bit of information in here about the income. I just glanced at it briefly, but let's just start from scratch like we normally do. We go to rental meter. We're looking long-term rentals here because it's currently month to month. We put in the address. This is basically a motel, so we're certainly in the studio or 1-bedroom range here. 1 bedroom, 1 bath. And I thought I put my correct VPN. Sorry, let me just switch my VPN to make sure we have. There might be a small change and glitch in the connection as I do the switch, and I apologize for that. I'm back. Everything should be good. So let's see if we can redo this on rental meter here. We have it here. 1 bedroom, 1 bath. So for those of you who saw what just happened, I changed my my IP address and it reset the counter on rental meter. So that's a nice little cool trick. So we're looking here at this is it looks like a very well, a not super cheap market for 1 bedrooms to be renting in the 1100, but still we're in the studio apartments. So I'm gonna definitely be closer on the bottom side. So I'm gonna take this 850 or 863 number in the calculations. Okay. So what do I mean by calculations? Let's pull out the calculator. So I've got 28 units that are renting for, I'm gonna go on the low side for now, 863 a month. Most years, so basically there's $24,000 a month coming in. Most years we have 12 months. So there's a potential of $290,000 in gross annual income from this thing. And this is where you can go in with a quick trick, right? The 50% rule or the 55% rule to go from gross to net. So I'm just going to be conservative here. I'm going to split it right in half. I don't know who pays utilities. I'm just going to go for the worst. I'm going to cut it in two. So really, this property should at least make $145,000 a year net. Okay, this is the NOI. So let's keep that number, $145,000 a year. And if they're asking 2 million, right? 2,004,000. Well, this is a property that seems to be offering at about a 7.5, 7.25 cap. Okay, so we got a 28 unit apartment asset, 28 unit asset that's being asking about at a 7.25 cap. So right out the gate, right? Is this a deal or no deal for what you're looking for? You can start chiming in right now. Okay, very interesting. Now, what's fun is I was actually given a little bit more information on this deal. Let me pull that up. Boom. And this is what they're basically saying. And let's see how it compares to what we were just looking at. Because I spent, what, 2 minutes, 3 maybe? And I was talking through it to get a good sense of what was happening here. Let's see, with the more detailed financials, what we can expect. Okay. So the first thing I like to do when I look at these financial sheets is to make sure there's no big line item missing on the expenses. If you've attended the blueprint, you know that we're looking for Summit, right? Summit is an acronym. And so we're going to go through each one of those letters. The first one being, the extra stuff like travel, vacancy, on this one, other, right? We got the other category of some sense. Then we have utilities. Okay, they have a line for utilities. Then we have the maintenance. They have a cleaning and maintenance budget. Perfect. There's no mortgage, right? There's management. Management's about 10%, so things are looking about right. Insurance is there, and taxes are there as well. So like they're not missing one of the big categories of expenses, which is good. So that's already fantastic. And we're looking here, they're saying the NOI is about 160,000. What did we come up with? 145,000. Interesting how we are so close. And I was being a little bit more conservative with a 50% expense ratio. What if I had done a 55% expense ratio, which is what you see most times, right? Let's just redo the numbers real fast. 863 per month. We have 28 units, 12 months a year. If I had used the 55% expense ratio, well, how interesting is that? All right. This was not made up in advance, these numbers, right? When I say the quick trick rule, right? 0.55, look at that. We come up with 159, they come up with 160. We're literally less than $1,000 off on the quick trick approximation. So do we need to go through a huge underwriting due diligence up front to get a heck of a good idea of what's happening? Well, you get to decide now. And so if this is the NOI and we are giving the $2.004 million offer, we're right around that 7.25 to 8% cap rate. So they're even advertising it. They're even saying it's an 8% cap. So this is it. In under 5 minutes, we've basically realized that this is an opportunity with actual numbers, right? These are actuals that they are asking at an 8 cap. And they're basically saying that there's room to optimize a little bit. Let me pull this out. There's room to optimize a little bit to basically bring in an extra $40,000 of net income. And let's just see, okay, travel is going to go up a bit, repairs, management. So where's the big difference coming from here? Basically just the income. They're basically saying that there's a potential to bring in more income and expenses grow up in proportion. So is that true? Is that not true? We're gonna have to dive in deeper. But right now, what is being potentially purchased? An 8 cap, a 28 unit at an 8 cap. So how does that compare to your market? Is that good enough for you? Is that a deal or no deal? Let's see the comments that we've come up with here. Okay, so that's a question. I'll get to the question in just a bit. Rory says it's a deal. So Rory, if you really are interested in this is a deal, just send us an email, info@nowfortomorrow.club. We'll hook you up with Vera and we'll see if you can make a deal happen. Vincent, are there any renos needed? To my understanding, very little. This is a property that is recently built, recently renovated as well. That is my understanding. It does need to be verified. You're absolutely right. Any potential to increase value to refinance, and that leads into Gersharon's question. Apologies if I didn't get it, didn't nail the name, but he's asking basically, what's the cap rate that you're comfortable investing at? That is exactly the question you have to figure out for yourself. Some people will only buy double digits. Some people, are comfortable with whatever they can find. Some people it's 12, some people it's 15 caps. You can understand those don't come around as often, and we have to put more time into creating those deals. So that is the question asked. What is the cap rate that you're comfortable investing at? I'm going to say in many, many, many markets right now, getting higher than an 8 cap upon entry, people aren't offering deals at an 8 cap or higher very often anymore, unless there's something significantly wrong with it. So this is a good starting point, I think. If you have a nice, solid performing asset with upside, offering at an 8 cap or better right now, it's a good starting place to start building the relationship, putting in the effort to enter into a negotiation, put in your systems to do your follow-ups, et cetera, figure out what the seller wants and needs, and ultimately maybe pull the trigger on a 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 cap, but you have to start somewhere. We're starting at an 8 here. And how to identify a deal where the BRRRR can be done to improve the cap rate. So how do you increase value? It's by increasing the bottom line NOI. That's how you increase the income on this thing. How do you increase the bottom line? You increase income, you increase rents and all the sources of income that come from the property, or you decrease expenses. So you'd go through here and you'd basically have to figure out, can we increase rents? Now, notice I took the bottom, the 25th percentile on the low side at 863. That seems a little high, but heck, maybe this is a much more expensive market than what I'm used to looking at. So maybe I was more conservative than I should be there. Maybe there's ways to continue increasing there. So having conversations with your property manager, with your team on the ground, or start building a team on the ground that can maybe tell you how can you get 900, 950 a month that would significantly increase the income. You can just raise rents over year after year. That's a way to increase your income. And then you just look at each one of these line items and you ask yourself, how can we decrease these line items, right? Without decreasing the quality. For example, cleaning and maintenance, maybe you don't want to skip on that necessarily. You need to keep the building in livable and premium condition. But taxes, maybe there's an appeal that can be done. Maybe we can tighten up utilities by putting water reducing valves, better managing the bills, something as silly as like Nest thermostats, something like that could, make less heat needed, less cooling needed throughout the year, if that's an expense that's on your back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Beautiful. So that is basically it. Thank you for the submission, Vera. We have a couple people who believe it is a deal, and so we hope to have your emails come in and create a deal for the community. Yes, Julio says, not bad for a comfort investor. So you want something that's just operating, boom. Maybe in your market right now, even 4 caps are hard to come by, and here they're just offering an 8. And with a little bit of elbow grease, you can probably bring this up to a 10 without too much difficulty, and then slap in some creative terms that you learn at the blueprint, and then maybe you create a 30-40% cash on cash return with little down payment. Who knows? But the more deals that you have that start like this, the more that'll end up like diamonds, guaranteed. So basically, that is our deal reveal. And I want to remind you, we have, we have an upcoming epic virtual bus tour on June 26th. For those of you who are interested to join that, we're going to go see some Florida properties, and our magical mansion, name pending. We haven't decided yet on what the name will be revealed. It's going to be epic. For those of you who have seen some glimpses of the properties on Facebook, you just wait till the big reveal. It's going to be epic. And we can skip all this. It's not what I wanted. I thought I did. This is the more important one because tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we are starting the 3-day blueprint. And so this is really the last chance because it's happening tomorrow. If you're interested to join or rejoin, come back because we've added more content specifically regarding short-term rentals, Florida investing, property management, and RRSP investing. N4T.club/blueprint is where you want to be to catch all that information and come hear from some of our core team members. So that is it. Thank you for another beautiful and quick, just like I like them, deal reveals. Go get the next deal.
Don't wait for tomorrow.